Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week. Thank you so much for all the Mother's Day and birthday cards and thank you cards. We appreciate them so much, and the gifts. Love you guys. I know you haven't seen me in a while. I've just been really busy and got burnt out for a little bit there and just kind of overwhelmed with everything. But anyway, we have an update on the Illinois court case, so I thought I would give you that information first. We got some other news and things going on. People versus Pinkava, Michael M. Order. This matter coming before the court for hearing, motion limine, the people being present, defendant present, counsel present, and the court having jurisdiction and being fully advised in the premises, it is hereby ordered that it is further ordered that all matters continue to May 26, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Defendant must appear, bond continued, and it's signed by the judge. So it looks like the court case is a go-ahead for May 26th at 1:30. I want to thank everybody for sending me links to articles and everything else. Very much appreciated. And first thing here. Now this actually happened last year and stuff is coming up now. Coroner blasts Jehovah's Witnesses for failing to stop 82-year-old man killing his wife 80 after he told church elder that he was planning to stab her to death. Oh my God. The JWs are getting crazier every day. I'm going to read this article and I'm going to put the link down below to all of this. A coroner has slammed the lack of action for Jehovah's Witnesses who did not stop a devout follower's frenzied attack on his wife. So this debunks the fact that, oh, well, he wasn't a real Jehovah's Witness. You know, he must have just been going to meetings or studying or something. No, he was devout. But see, this is the thing that we have been saying. These elders hide this stuff. Really? You didn't do a thing and allowed him to stab his wife? The elders didn't do anything? In my humble opinion, they're just as guilty as he is then. Oh. Ronald Mowbray, 82, from Studley, Warwickshire, stabbed his wife Anne a total of 49 times as she slept in bed. 49 times. And the elder knew he was going to do this. A devout Jehovah's Witness, Mowbray, was arrested at the couple's village home following the attack last February. So, like I said, it's been about a year. But to the shock of the county's coroner, Sean McGovern, it was revealed that the pensioner had earlier informed a senior church member of his murderous plan. I like to see charges against these elders be filed. And Mr. McGovern warned that similar deaths could happen in the future if lessons were not learned from this incident. I'm going to reread that. And Mr. McGovern warned that similar deaths could happen in the future if lessons were not learned from this incident. Well, that's what we've been saying for years. You know, Watchtower does nothing. All they do is antagonize members, abuse them, and they cause more mental illness and PTSD than anyone else. These elders are just as guilty. I get so angry over this crap. An inquest into his wife's death heard Mowbray had told an elder at the Church of Jehovah's Witnesses about his plan to murder Anne, but no action was taken. Do you hear that, Jehovah's Witnesses and Watchtower? But no action was taken. He was arrested after he stabbed his wife almost 50 times while she was asleep in the couple's bed in February 17, 2020. Mr. Mowbray was due to face trial after being charged with the murder of his wife, but died last April as his health deteriorated in HMP Hull. Speaking last year, Mr. Mowbray's barrister, Rebecca Wade, explained his mental health had rapidly declined and he was spending much of his time in the prison's hospital wing. Sean McGovern, coroner for Warwickshire, declared Mrs. Mowbray had been unlawfully killed. Well, yeah, if you're stabbed, it's called homicide. Unlawfully killed? Oy vey. In his ruling, he said Mrs. Mowbray, she was 80 years old and vulnerable by means of physical disabilities, and she was a devout Jehovah's Witness, as was the perpetrator. The perpetrator made at least one comment to an elder of the Jehovah's Witnesses indicating that he proposed to kill Mrs. Mowbray by stabbing her. The inquest heard the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses do not have any policy regarding safeguarding vulnerable adults. Oh, big surprise. Look at what it's taken to get their child safeguarding policy in place. Mr. McGovern said there was a risk that future deaths will occur unless action is taken. He said despite raising concerns with the church, where both Mr. and Mrs. Mowbray were members, it was unclear whether they proposed to adopt such a policy. Not unless they're forced to. I can tell you that right now. All right. Now, let's see. I got to translate this to English. Jehovah's Witnesses flood the city with painted shells. You guys are going to love this one. A family Vidma intervenes in this way to bring a message of love to life and to others. The pieces have on one of their faces a drawing with a biblical verse and on the inside a telephone number and a web address. Better than a letter, I guess. These are seashells, and as you can see from the pictures, they're painting this and plastering them all over the city. The telephone number that the Seashells have belongs to Natalia, who together with her husband Sandro and her son Diego got down to work to bring a message of love to life and to neighbor to the community. They are Jehovah's Witnesses, and since they can no longer tour the city house to house, they looked for a way to do it in the context of a pandemic. You know, and this is really sweet and thoughtful and nice to give messages of hope and love, but then you have to go put your religious cult propaganda on it by painting jw.org. You know, why can't it just be a generic message of love and hope for the future instead of pushing your propaganda? It's just as bad as pushing the literature. It was a family initiative as Jehovah's Witnesses in following the teachings of Jesus, who said that in Acts 20:35, there is more happiness in giving than in receiving, he revealed. So anyway, I'm going to put the link down below. Yeah. To be able to help families with biblical passages that have helped us and be able to guide families to this site, jw.org, where we find biblical information. No, it's where you find cult propaganda for this particular religion. All these religions are doing that now. Now, we were at our kids last week, and Shyla gave me another letter she has received from Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh my goodness. Now it's interesting because even though it's a different name than the last time, it's the same address, same P.O. Box address. And when you do a search of it, it's actually to the Kingdom Hall in Bernalillo. It says residence. So I'm going to read the JW's letter. To my neighbors, it is my privilege to share in a work being done by volunteers in over 200 lands. We are genuinely interested in our neighbors because we have important information to share with you, especially at this critical time. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we feel strongly that we are living in the last days as found at 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. However, Bible prophecy also shows that there will be an end to all of mankind's problems through God's kingdom that Jesus taught his followers to pray for at Matthew 6, 9 through 10. How come they never use the one at Luke? Our Father in the heavens. We all know that. What do you think are some of the changes you and your family would benefit from? Oh yeah, she's going to hear my opinion on that. What would you like to see happen first to benefit us all? Until we can visit our neighbors again, please feel free to go to our website, jw.org, for great videos, answers to Bible questions, and Bibles. For example, under Bible Questions Answered, one topic is about peace and happiness. Another is faith in God, how we can build it, strengthen it, and have a reliable hope for the future. Sincerely, Carolyn McClellan. Oh yeah, I couldn't resist. This is what I wrote back. Dear Carol McClellan, now I also want to mention that I did a little bit of research, and when you send a letter back to these addresses for the Kingdom Hall, you put the person that sent you the letter's name on the envelope, because we're hearing that elders are opening these letters. And I found out that if you put a person's name, like Carol McClellan, on the envelope and the elders open it up or someone else opens it up, it is a federal offense. Check with your local postmaster. Dear Carolyn McClellan, you have been sending me letters once a month for a while now. In your latest letter, you asked me several questions. Allow me to ask you a few questions. Have you heard about the court case in Crystal Lake, Illinois, where a body of JW elders have been charged for not reporting a horrific child abuse case for 8 years? The elder, Michael Pinkava, is facing a Class 4 felony for being a certified elementary school teacher and not reporting the abuse. He is blaming the Watchtower Legal Department for giving him bad legal advice. He is also claiming clergy penitent privilege. And then I have the link to jw.org. Jehovah's Witnesses frequently ask questions. No paid clergy. See, and they word it carefully. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses don't have a paid clergy. Well, then I have another link to the library for the 2009 August Awake. Should there be a clergy lady distinction? And in that article, they're actually bashing Christendom for having a clergy class because they push the thing, we're all brothers, we're all equal. But yet in these court cases, well, I'll just finish reading the letter. So on your website, you claim you have no clergy distinction, but yet in several court cases, you claim you do have a clergy class and don't have to mandatory report child abuse. Here in New Mexico, there have been 3 child abuse cases recently, each claiming they didn't have to report because of clergy penitent privilege. Were you aware that on the jw.org website you claim you do not have a clergy class, but yet these elders are claiming they didn't have to report the abuse because they don't have to? You asked in your letter, what do you think are some of the changes you and your family would benefit from? Wait for it. How about my JW family to stop shunning me? You also asked, what would I like to see happen first to benefit us all? How about your governing body being sent to prison for hiding pedophiles and deceiving members? How about when governing body Jeffrey Jackson lied to the Australian Rail Commission? How about all the human rights they are violating against JW members and ex-members? You recommend going to jw.org to see how great the JWs are. We all use it to prove you are liars. You're frequently asked questions, do you shun ex-members? No, we don't shun ex-members. And then I have the link to that frequently asked questions. See, and the thing is how many Jehovah's Witnesses have gone to those frequently asked questions and actually read what they say? Years ago, we did videos debunking all of those. Would you like to know why many of us are speaking out on social media against you? We were disfellowshipped on hearsay. All it took was my mother-in-law in Arizona calling her elders and saying my husband said something against the organization. We were out of town and unable to attend the judicial hearing. The elders disfellowshipped us anyway. How loving is that? JWs don't shun former members? Question mark. Then why do you call what our JW family are doing to all of us? Liars. Every single letter you send me is being given to my parents. They do videos about them to debunk everything you claim. Check them out on YouTube, Kim Mikey XJW, and then I put the link to our channel, Your Neighbor in Rio Rancho. See, and this is the thing, is yes, I sent it to the address that was on her letter, which is the Bernalillo Kingdom Hall, but it only took me just a few minutes. You know, you could just go to the phone book and put in the name. And there was only, 2 Carol McClellans in New Mexico. One is in Rio Rancho and another one is in another town. So guess what? I printed up a second letter and sent it to her home address. And this is why, it's not very good for Jehovah's Witnesses not only to be putting their full name. One of the letters my daughter got, it actually had the guy's home address, which was just a few streets over from where our kids live. And so I sent it to him. And some have put their phone numbers. So, and email addresses. So I don't know, if they're opening these letters up and reading all of them. I doubt if they will, even click on the links or go check it out, because we know. And Marcus Vaughn did a video last week, I think it was, and he makes a good point. And this is what we've been saying also. No matter what evidence you put in front of Jehovah's Witness, a fully indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness, most are not even going to look at it. Most aren't going to change. My own mother, I was showing her stuff when we were first waking up. And she says, oh yeah, I see it, I know. But I'm going to stick with Jehovah's organization no matter what. So even if, a fully indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness, like I said, you can put all the evidence in front of them and they still will stick with the organization. This is what indoctrination means. And I think Marcus Vaughn even said something about you can, pee on their head and tell them it's lemonade, and they're still not going to wake up. I agree. You can have all the evidence in the world, and it will do no good. No good. So, you're just striving after the win. And sad, because I know all of us want to wake up our family members. But until they have their own Armageddon, or they have to deal with elders themselves, or something like that, they'll stay with it. So thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for all the emails and phone calls, asking where I am. I'm doing fine, and just taking a little bit of a rest. And so you all have a wonderful week. Bye.